I like that. Good afternoon to all. The time has arrived for us to begin this very special event this afternoon. At this time, I'd like to call this beautiful retirement recognition to order and ask that you would stand at this time as we first do a moment of silence. If we could now turn for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. At this time, for the board members that are present, I would ask for an approval of tonight's agenda for this beautiful occasion. Okay, Ms. Thompson, do we have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Wonderful. Let the party begin. Dr. Arnold?
Thank you, Ms. Ligon, and I'd like to also thank the other board members who are in attendance, Mr. Chris Terry, Mr. John Greiser, and Ms. Abby Thompson. So thank you for being with us on this special occasion. So this is the Amherst County Public Schools retirement and 25-year recognition ceremony. And tonight we have the opportunity to say thank you to some wonderful people. And first, I want to start with the stats of the night and what we are actually saying goodbye to. We're saying goodbye to 760 years of total education experience. We're saying goodbye to 553 years of experience right here in Amherst County. And while we will fill your positions, we cannot replace you. And I want you to realize that your experience and your wisdom and your dedication to children will always be felt here in Amherst County. So as I was thinking about retirement, I'm going to do some general talk about retirement. Your supervisors, principals, they'll come up and provide much greater detail about each of you. So I want to just talk about retirement in general. So as I was thinking about retirement, I just looked up the definition of it. And it says it's withdrawal from one's position or occupation or from active working life. And I don't much like that definition. It doesn't seem to reflect the real value that comes during retirement. So I did some research and I looked around and I tried to figure out what a better way to think about retirement was. And I found a study that was done in Okinawa, Japan. And the study was about why people lived such healthy lives for such a long amount of time. And here's why. They don't have a word for retirement. They don't even, literally nothing in their language describes the concept of stopping work completely. Instead, one of the healthiest societies in the world has a word called ikigai. And ikigai roughly translates to the reason you wake up in the morning. It's the thing that drives you most. So based on my observations, I can say that meeting the needs of every child every day has been the reason for you waking up for some 760 years. The students and community of Amherst County Public Schools are forever grateful for this and hope as you move into the next chapter of your life is that you will find another ikigai that is every bit as meaningful as what you've done here for Amherst County. I'm going to finish by using a quote from Mr. Fred Rogers, or as you might know him as Mr. Rogers. Often when you think you're at the end of something, you're at the beginning of something else. I wish you all the very best in your retirement, and once again, on behalf of Amherst County Public Schools, we thank you for your service. I'd like to turn it over. So at this time, we have a very special presentation for you. Our music group, the Amarecos, have a couple of selections that they have completed for you. We'll watch it on the screen behind me, and I'd like to thank Ms. Melanie Coleman, the director, for doing such a fine job with these students.
Wherever you've come from, wherever you've been, a new day is dawning. Just take it all in. What you have longed for is reaching to you. All you have dreamed of is yours, yes, it's true. Take hold of your gift. Find courage to try. Follow the path that you see. Your heart's full of wonder beckons to dream. It's time to set yourself free. Awaken the music. Now is your moment to see. Awaken the music. See what your new song will bring. Step forward, determined into this new day. You've already come so far. Awaken the music. Go tell the world who you are. How beautiful life can be with all of its possibilities. Make it happen with all you know. Only you can make it so. Make it so. What you have longed for. What you have longed for is reaching to you. All you have dreamed of. All you have dreamed of. Is yours, yes, it's true. Take hold of your gift. Find courage to try. Follow the path that you see. Your heart full of wonder beckons to dream. It's time to set yourself free. Awaken the music. Now is your moment to see. Awaken the music. See what your new song will bring. Step forward, determined into this new day. You've already come so far. Awaken the music. Go tell the world who you are.
Take that jump, you don't fear the fall. Hope when the water rises, you build a wall.
Hope when the crowd screams out, they're screaming your name. Hope if everybody runs, you choose to stay.
You fall in love and it hurts so bad. The only way you can know is give it all you have. And I hope that you don't suffer, but take the pain.
Hope when the moment comes, you'll say, I every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived.
Hope that you spend your days, but they all add up. And when that sun goes down, hope you raise your cup.
I wish that I could witness all your joy and all your pain. But until that moment comes, I'll say I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived. I swear I lived.
Every broken bone,
I swear I lived.
every broken bone,
I swear I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived. I swear I lived.
So we'll start our recognition portion of this ceremony with a recognition of a special group of people, of employees that have dedicated specifically 25 years of service to the betterment of the lives of students in Amherst County specifically. We talk a lot about the importance of family and community, and I really think that giving 25 years of dedicated service and passionate service to children in a community is one of the greatest gifts that you can give to that community. So tonight, I asked Mr. Jim Gallagher to come forward and recognize those employees that have been with Amherst County Public Schools for 25 years.
Good evening, folks. So I will call forward two of our recipients this evening who have been with us for 25 years. And again, I appreciate your dedicated service for that time in Amherst County Public Schools. Our first recipient this evening is Silas McDaniel. If you could come down. Silas is at Madison Heights Elementary School. Woohoo! Thank you, Mr. McDaniel. Our next recipient here this evening is Samina Schroeder from Manelison Middle School. We have several 25 years of service employees who weren't able to make it tonight. We had Kathleen Ayal from Amherst County High School. We had Patty Givens from Elin Elementary School. And we had Donna Gunnels from Amherst Middle School. Okay, everybody, this brings me to the portion of our presentation where we will honor our retirees this evening. I will be calling forward our presenters this evening, and they will call down our honored retirees. So to begin our presentation of retirees this evening, we have Dr. Derek Brown from Amherst County High School.
Good evening. Oh, we're teachers. Good evening. That was pretty bad. Are we retiring or what are we doing here? Good evening. All right. There we go. I just want to honor several folks who are retiring from our building. There's several that aren't here and then a few that are, and so we want to go with the folks who could not make it this afternoon. Just want to celebrate Cheryl Dupuis, Mary Kay McCrae, and Pat Sandage, who are not here tonight, but just wanted to recognize them. But I do believe Miss Litchford is here. Miss Litchford, are you here? Can you come on down? I'm embarrass you for a little bit. All right. We have stories to tell. All right, Miss Litchford, tonight I'm here to recognize and celebrate Miss Litchford for her dedication and service to Amherst County Public Schools over the past 38 years. Yes, that's correct. I didn't stutter or misread that number, 38 years. Just to give you some insight on that number, I am not 38 years old. Just to give you a little bit more background about her time here at the high school, there have been 12 head principals in the history of Amherst County High School. Miss Litchford has served under 10 of those 12. Myself, Young, Wells, Hand, Gwill, Basil, Sprinkle, House, Grant, and Carter. Lee and Phillips missed out. And when I asked Miss Litchford, where did I rank amongst those 10 principals, she said I was in her top 10. Ms. Litchford has worked here in our adaptive classroom with students with special needs, and while I've only been here for 2 years, I wanted to again allow some others in the building to share their comments and emotions about her. So first from Ms. Meeks. Ms. Litchford was very welcoming and appreciative to have me join her classroom. She is very dedicated to the success of her students and even maintains contact with some who have graduated and or aged out of the adaptive program. Ms. Harvey says, Marion has always gone above and beyond to develop relationships with her students and their families. Not only is Ms. Litchford a wonderful teacher, she is an excellent mentor, co-worker, and friend. Any questions or advice, school-related or not, I knew I could go to Ms. Litchford without judgment. Amherst County community was certainly blessed to have her be a part of it for so many years. And Mr. Cox has said, Ms. Litchford's life revolves around her students. She is always one step ahead when it comes to preparing for them, and she has been there as a fellow teacher as well. She is a person that I've been able to lean on and learn from while I joined this new position. I've learned a lot while gathering information about Ms. Litchford, but I will always remember working with you, and I'm sure others will as well. And I can't imagine how many lives you've impacted over the last 38 years, including your students, family, co-workers. But now it's time for you to enjoy your family and take some well-deserved time off. You've earned every bit of it, and I know that you will enjoy it to the fullest with your kids and grandkids. We wish you nothing but the best. Job well done. Next up, if we can have Ms. Reed come to the stage. Ms. Ann Reed. Welcome, Ms. Reed. All right, we are here tonight to celebrate and recognize your service and dedication to Amherst County Public Schools. And Ms. Reed has been employed with us for the last 19 years. She has worked with our special education department as a teacher, and I have finished my second year, but again wanted to ask for some comments from her peers, and so we have some wonderful stories here. Mr. Maddox, I will miss her boldness and direct opinion in department meetings. She was not scared in any way to say what everyone else was thinking, and she kept things exciting, exclamation point. I will always appreciate her straightforward approach to my questions, and I knew she would give me an honest answer. Ms. Bagley, students have trusted her and will request to see her whenever they had an issue, whether it be academic or personal. They knew that they would get sound advice and maybe a little tough love when needed. Ms. Litchford, she has always had the most interesting stories to share, often which led to a hearty laugh by all who were there. But most importantly, she never shied away from doing what was in the best interest of her students, no matter what that might be. Mr. Crawford. Yes, Mr. Crawford. We co-taught for 7 years in several classes per day. We shared many laughs in our classroom, as Miss Reed was never shy about saying exactly what was on her mind, and I usually was thinking the same thing. In my 14 years of education, there's not a single person that I could depend on more than Miss Reed. She was always there for me no matter what. And last but not least, Mrs. Ellis. Her wit and famous one-liners will definitely be missed. There's no one in this building that could tell a story quite like Miss Reed, nor is there anyone whose wit could be matched. You always knew where you stood with Miss Reed, and she will be very hard to replace. There are others that shared stories and thoughts and feelings as well that I've collected over the past couple weeks, but there's one common theme that I found through all those stories, and that word was relationships. And it's hopefully those relationships that you have built that you will take it with you into retirement. Job well done, Miss Reed. Please enjoy retirement. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna take the whole. And last but not least, Mr. Swift. Robert Swift. I will do that. Mr. Swift is our culinary arts teacher here at Amherst County High School, and this is probably the class that I have personally benefited from the most as he's been a teacher here. I cannot tell you how many kids come down the hallways with cookies and cakes and fried chicken and pizza, and I always enjoy everything that comes out of that classroom. You can tell Mr. Swift has a real passion for what he's done, and he began his career here in Amherst County High School in August of 1991. This has been Mr. Swift's first and only teaching job he has ever had. In fact, when he walked into the classroom here, it was the first time he had been back in the high school since he left in 1971. He said that it was an eye-opening experience for him, and thankfully for us, he has stuck around, and thankfully for my stomach as well. He grew into this job and he never looked back. Mr. Swift has spent practically his entire life working in food service, and that definitely shows in the way that he trains and teaches our students and prepares them for their next phase of life. His work experience started back in 1968 at the age of 14. And Mr. Swift does plan on traveling during his retirement, and he plans on visiting his children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. And he does plan to come back go overseas and see several trips all along the USA. But one trip that I will request that you make frequently is a trip back here to Amherst County High School, and please bring your chef hat and your spatula, and take care of us all. Thank you, Mr. Swift, for being so awesome. Enjoy retirement.
And our next presenter this evening, also recognizing someone who has provided dedicated service to Amherst County High School, is Ms. Kim Klein.
It's my great honor tonight to present Ms. Pat Royer from Amherst County High School. You can come on down, Pat. Pat has served with Amherst County Public Schools for the past 18 years. All of them have been at the high school. She did some sub work at Amherst Middle School, but eventually landed here, and this has been her home ever since. She's done various jobs for us, probably everything imaginable in the kitchen. She's done everything but cashier, and she would even jump on that and do that if there's a student in need. She's very dedicated, rarely ever missed a day of work, which we very much appreciated. She's funny and well-liked by all of her colleagues and by all of her students who will come through the blue plate line every day just to see her and to have an interaction with her. We're gonna miss her. We're gonna miss her laughter. She was always good to lift us up on any day that we needed it. And we'll definitely miss her dedication. And Pat, just thank you so much for everything that you've done for us, and we wish you well in your next chapter of life.
I'd like to call forward Mr. Ernest Penn to recognize our next retiree. Mr. Penn?
To the school board members and Dr. Arnold, I want to thank you guys for doing this for our retirees. So I have this wonderful opportunity to be the only person in the entire world. I have this honor to present the greatest secretary the Amherst Education Center, formerly known as Monroe Education Center, has ever had, period. And that is because she has been my only secretary. Cheryl Martin, she has been in this profession as a secretary for about 42 years, and she has been with Amherst County Public Schools for approximately 22 years. And so I've had a wonderful opportunity to get to know her not only as one of my colleagues, but as a person. We have truly developed a unique relationship. We are colleagues. That is because we work for the same school division. We have a relationship known as employee supervisor. My wife calls her my work wife. She talks to my mother all the time. But more than those things, I can truly say that Cheryl Martin is my friend. We have a wonderful relationship. We started out, our children were in middle school, and we have had the wonderful opportunity to see our children grow up and become full-grown adults. She has David with her here today, has a daughter, Tina. Phillips is not here. Kojak is not here. But we've had a wonderful opportunity to watch our children grow up from middle school kids to full adults. And we also are now grandparents. And so we have a very unique relationship. But let me transition to a few other things I want to talk about. I've recalled the interview that I had with Miss Martin, Cheryl Ware at that time, over 22 years ago. One of the questions says, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how would you rate yourself in getting along with others? She immediately said, I am a 10. Now, the way she answered that, she didn't answer that according to the way the question was read. She answered it as if she was talking about herself. And I still tease her about that because that answer was one of the main reasons why I wanted her to become my secretary, because I knew it would be a great balance of my personality and someone with her personality. The only issues that I've had with Ms. Martin for over 21 years is that when she first started with us, she had a unique way of communicating with people. And she would talk to people in such a way, I would say, Miss Martin, Miss Ware at the time, you cannot talk to people like that. She said, well, Mr. Penn, you know I'm from the North. And she said, I'm a Philly girl. And I'm not roasting her, but I'm kind of sharing who she is. And the other issue I had to deal with her communication. I used to talk to her about how she answered the telephone. And she would have the phone to her ear like this, say, hello, hello. And I said, Miss Martin, you have to be a little bit more professional than that. She said, well, Ms. Penn, I'm trying. So she has gotten much better in these 21 years. The other thing I want to share with you guys, just two more things I'm going to get out the way. One of the funniest moments that I've had with Ms. Martin in all of the 21 plus years is that we had the wonderful opportunity to get, with the school board's blessing, to get a school built, and we had the opportunity for Amherst to bless us with the Amherst Education Center. And during the summer months, it used to be just myself and Cheryl Martin there by herself, and she would have her radio playing, and she would be singing her music. I would be in my office, and one particular day, she was leaving, going home. My office is on this wing, and she was going out the door to the left. And so we have cameras all through the building, and she started yelling, bye, Mr. Penn, bye, Mr. Penn, and she turned around like this. And I'm watching to my computer, and the next thing I know, she was turning around, and she fell. She rolled and hit the wall, and I just started laughing and had a good time. I ran to make sure she was okay. I still tease her to this particular day. The last thing I want to share is that if any of you guys remember the Carol Burnett show, there was a gentleman by the name of Mr. Tutball, and there was a secretary that he had by the name of Mrs. Wiggins. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here she is, live. I want to thank Ms. Martin for all that she's done for myself, my family. Ms. Martin has even with Tommy, her husband, one of her husbands, she has painted my entire house. That's the kind of relationship we had. She's painted my entire house, and even to the point of she may have worked on some of my cars. I used to drop the cars off and let my buddy work on it. But I want to thank Ms. Martin publicly in front of everyone, tell her that I truly appreciate what you've done for me. I want to thank you for what you've done for all of our children at Amherst Education Center and Monroe Education Center. I want to thank you for what you've done for our staff. And most importantly, I want to thank you for being my friend. I love you and I hope that God can continue to bless you.
A small reflection on Ms. Martin, I apologize. Whenever I call Amherst Education Center, Ms. Martin would always say, Amherst Education Center, Ms. Martin. I mean, I got used to that all the time. Last week, I called over. I needed to talk to Mr. Penn. She answers the phone, Amherst Education Center, and I wait. I'm like, what, no name? I said, you're not retired yet. Okay, couple more days. Okay, thank you. So our next presenter this evening, folks, is Mr. Kelly Holmes from Amherst Middle School.
Again, I'd like to extend appreciation for this wonderful evening and for the celebration of all of our retirees. I also like to mention Miss Stephanie Nicklin, who is not here with us tonight, but I want to thank her for her service to Amherst Middle School. The first person I'm here to recognize is Miss Carolyn Turner. Hi, Miss Turner. How are you? Miss Turner, she blessed both Manellis Middle School and Amherst Middle School with her service. Miss Turner has 26 years of career service. She wore many hats in her 13 years with Amherst County Public Schools. She was initially hired as an instructional assistant at Manellis Middle School, then became an in-school suspension coordinator before returning to the classroom. Miss Turner was always willing to offer a helping hand, and more importantly, she always had a gift for meeting students where they were and developing meaningful and lasting relationships. She will be missed, but her retirement is well-earned and well-deserved. Ms. Turner, on behalf of Amherst Middle School and Manellis Middle School, we'd like to say congratulations to you and wish you the very best. Thank you. Actually, the next individual needs no introduction, but I do want to point out, Ms. Thomas, if you notice, Ms. Martin gave Mr. Penn a hug. So just letting you know. But if you would please come on to your chair. Ma'am, you can do whatever you want. You know, there's so many things I could share with you in regards to Miss Thomas. Some of them she probably wouldn't want me to share. However, I have notes here today because I just want to make sure that I don't continue on and on and on. That's how important Miss Thomas is. That's what a blessing she is, not only to Amherst Middle School, but to Amherst County. So she serves our county in many different ways, and she is just such a blessing. So Ms. Thomas has served the students at Amherst Middle School for 33 years. "23 of those years has been as guidance secretary. Ms. Thomas was also a proud graduate of the Central High School class of 1969, the last graduating class of Central High School, which is now Amherst Middle School. So basically, Ms. Thomas went to school at Central High, and then she returned to work there for 33 years. That's quite amazing. Ms. Thomas has shared with me that it is ironic that she was inspired to be a secretary, and that was a note that she made in her high school yearbook. Ms. Thomas has many unique characteristics that make her an amazing part of the Amherst Middle School family. I could start with her work ethic and determination to always do a job to the best of her ability. And that is an example that she provides for her coworkers and most importantly for our students. Her love for helping others be successful and making life better is observed each day she walks into the doors at Amherst Middle School. To know Ms. Thomas is a pleasure, and each day that I have the opportunity to work with her has been an opportunity to be around a truly magnificent person of high character and dedicated individual that has been an invaluable part of making Amherst Middle School a great place to learn. Ms. Thomas, on behalf of the faculty and staff at Amherst Middle School, we wish you the very best as you begin this new adventure in life. Thank you for all you do.
I would now like to call forward Ms. Leah Gray from Manellis Middle School.
Good evening. At first, I just want to recognize one of our retirees who was not able to make it tonight, and that's Wanda Tyree. She has served in our adaptive special education room and has been absolutely outstanding in providing support for our students. So we want to thank Wanda. I unfortunately have not had the pleasure, like Mr. Penn has, of working with Lynette Smith for many, many years. This is my first year working with her, but Lynette, can you please come join us? I think Lynette was one of the very first teachers that signed up to meet with me over the summer last year as I took my position at Manellison Middle School, and we thoroughly enjoyed talking about our grandsons throughout the year. That's something that I think is she is going to thoroughly enjoy, is that time she gets to spend with her little grandson. But Lynette has dedicated 37 years of teaching, and 33 of those have been at Manellison. She started her career teaching special education for 17 years and then transitioned to 6th grade and spent several more years teaching English and math. She was a team leader. She served as a mentor to many new teachers that came to the building. She also was our archery coach, which is awesome. And sorry, I got to put my glasses on. I can't read it. She's been a leader in our building, as I said. Since I didn't have a personal story to share, I asked for her partner in crime, Ms. Ragland, to share with me just a few notes. So I'm going to read this from her. Ms. Ragland said, "I've been at MMS for 12 years, and I had the good fortune to be placed in room 208, directly across from Lynette Smith. I came here with 12 years of experience already under my belt, but I had always taught 5th grade, and each school and school district does things differently. From day one, Lynette welcomed me with open arms. She answered every one of my many, many questions and all of my SOS calls, no matter when they came. Lynette is kind and compassionate and has a love for teaching that you can see every day. I live down the hall from her now, but anytime I've needed to talk, vent, or ramble, she has always made time for me. This has been the toughest year of my life personally, and she has always checked in on me to see how I was coping that day. Although it was not her official title, I cannot put into words how grateful and blessed I feel to have had her mentor me. Her kindness has meant everything, especially that first year when I had no idea how things worked. I will miss her terribly, but I'm so happy for her and can't wait to see pictures and hear stories about that grandbaby. Thank you. Ms. Smith, we thank you for all of the contributions you have made at Manellison, and we will greatly miss you.
And if I could now call forward Ms. Jen Cruz from Amherst Elementary School.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to first say a big thank you and a big round of applause to all of our retirees tonight, because they have made it through one of the toughest possible years, and they hung in there one more year and gave us many, many, many memories and many areas of service this year. So a big round of applause to all of you for hanging in there with us this year during this time. If Miss Meg Raganelli could come down so I could talk about her for a little bit. Tonight I will be honoring Ms. Meg Raganelli for her 33 years of service to education, but more specifically her 15 years of dedicated service to Amherst County Public Schools. First, I would like to take a moment to share my gratitude, respect, and admiration for Meg and share with each of you the profound impact she has made on this community as an educator. One of the most admirable qualities about Ms. Raganelli is her gift to gain understanding in what students need to learn opposed to what she needs to teach. I'm a little bit choked up, I apologize. Meg gives her true self to everyone she encounters on a daily basis through her energy, enthusiasm, honesty, respect, generosity, and overall love of people. We are privileged to have Meg in her role as a reading specialist here at ACPS, and although our time with me has been short, Meg has had a major impact on me as an educator as well. Meg helped me in my journey to be an administrator as my professor at Liberty University. I've had the honor to have Ms. Raganelli as an educator, a colleague, but more importantly, her friendship has been the most meaningful of all. Not a day goes by that she doesn't stop to speak, check in, or just provide an uplifting story when we all need it the most. Educators, especially great ones, build bridges so that teaching and learning can occur through special relationships, because we all know the importance of how we make others feel, and I cannot think of a time when Ms. Raganelli hasn't taken the opportunity to do just that. Meg possesses a true gift in seeing beyond what a child is and recognizing what they can be. Through her years of service, many things have changed, including experiencing a pandemic. But Meg has remained consistent in her need to strive for what is true and right. She has dedicated herself to education, and for that we are forever grateful to her. As she enters her much-deserved retirement at the Lake House, which I'm very jealous about, I hope she takes us with her through the happiest of memories. I hope she enjoys the blanket, and please always remember that's for you to wrap yourself in it whenever you need a hug or simple encouragement from your AES family. Remember your achievement, success, and overall everlasting impact you've had on the ACPS community. Thank you for your support, friendship, and exemplary relationships, in doing so with the utmost sacrifice, humility, and ultimately for embodying our mission as an educator of every child every day. I leave you with this quote from Emma Stone. What sets you apart can sometimes feel like a burden, but it's not. And a lot of the time, it's what makes you great. Again, thank you for your dedication and service to our school community, and please know you will be greatly missed. I look forward to celebrating with you once again on Friday with our AES family, faculty, and staff. Congratulations, Meg.
And now from Amelon Elementary School, I welcome down Mr. Jay Sales.
First and foremost, Madam Chair, other members of the school board, Dr. Arnold, members of the senior leadership, other distinguished members of families and friends who are gathered here. As Ms. Cruz said, I would like to congratulate all of our retirees. As I look around, being a native of Amherst County, there are lots of familiar faces, lots of family, and lots of folks that I personally would like to acknowledge as well. So congratulations to everyone. At this particular time, I have the distinct privilege of inviting Leanne James to the chair. First and foremost, if Dr. Wells is paying attention, there was no direct contact. That was my elbow as she kind of tucked her arm up under there. Pretty sure we didn't exchange anything other than a little fabric from my jacket. All right. All things COVID. Thank you, sir, and all hail. Mrs. Leanne James, I give pause because first and foremost, I think I was told to acknowledge 17 years of service to the Amherst County Public Schools and 18 years all total. And with regards to that, I would like to say to you that when it comes to an acknowledgement for pedagogy, being convicted about your personal philosophies as it relates to teaching in general, but specifically in the realm of reading, given the reading specialist that you absolutely are, I want to acknowledge that you've taught me a lot about how to do that, how to do it professionally, and again, going back to the word conviction. Many times the students that you work with are those who need a little encouragement, who need some bolstering, and I need you to know that you do that as well as anyone that I've ever worked with. So on behalf of me standing here, the great and wonderful folks at Emmeline Elementary School, not only do I congratulate you on your retirement, but I say to you, when we talk about just like family, the theme at Emmeline Elementary School, you need to know that you embody that and you personify it in a way that no one else can do quite the way you do. And I say that because when I first saw you this evening, and I haven't seen you for a while because you've been retired for a little stretch now, when you greeted me, the love, the compassion, those things were absolutely evident. If I don't do anything right in trying to be the principal of Emmeline Elementary School, just like family is what I hope that everybody takes a little piece of and embodies it not only at their school, but in their life. So the warm embrace that was laced in "and I love you" was absolutely perfect as I acknowledge you on your evening as you were trying to lift me up. That's exactly who you are, and that is why you are sitting in the chair, and that is why we honor you. So further, I would be remiss if I didn't say to you that in every school, there have to be people who keep the leaders lifted up. I think just about everybody in here acknowledges that the last 2 years for me personally, through the loss of my dad, as Melissa and I kind of struggled through that, the loss of my wife recently to bone cancer, Nisha, you'll never know the value of stopping me literally in my tracks in the hallway on numerous occasions. Not just to ask me how I was doing in the principalship, but to grab me by the elbow, make the eye contact that you teach your students to make when they are speaking, and ask me as sincerely as anyone could ask, how are you doing? Know that you're in my thoughts, know that you all are in my prayers. That's meaningful stuff that transcends beyond the classroom, and I don't have a thank you or a hug or an I love you big enough to give it back to you. So we salute you. I'm going to grab your arm again, and we're going to walk over there to Dr. Arnold, and you're going to take that photo and smile under your mask like never before. Congratulations on your retirement. Hold on, Mrs. Saunders, hold on. We interrupt our regularly scheduled program for the following very important PSA from Mr. Jim Gallagher. When he called me to ask who was going to be presenting the honorees, I asked the question, how long do I have? He paused and he politely said, well, Jay, no one's really asked that question. And I politely said to him, remember, there's a Dr. Marvin McGinnis somewhere in the audience, and I know for a fact that he's going to try to steal the show. So with that in mind, I'm so glad I get to go before him and not after him. But at this time, I would like to ask Mrs. Kathy Saunders to come forward. As we pay homage to the memory of our late superintendent, Dr. Stephen Nichols, I'm reminded of when I was hired to become Emmeline's next principal. There were a lot of folks who wanted to call and congratulate. There were a few folks who wanted to come and see me in person. There were a few folks who wanted to make their own appointments as opposed to waiting for their turn to see the new principal. And one such individual is sitting right here. So famously, just in case I didn't understand what my role was, and I'm going to paraphrase. I won't give a direct quote. I'll paraphrase. Kathy said to me, "Congratulations on becoming our new principal. We're excited, but I just need you to remember and know this one very important thing." So I paused, and I was all excited about, well, what is she getting ready to share? And she said, again, I paraphrase, "So if you want to remain our principal, you'll take note of what I'm about to tell you, and you'll do it exactly like I'm about to tell you, and don't deviate from it, because this realm of special education, pretty doggone important, and some folks have actually lost their job because they didn't follow SPED education to the letter of the law." I knew that it was my time to say, "Yes, ma'am, very nice to meet you." And so I need you to know, from our very first encounter, albeit it was informal, we were formal from day one. So here's the trick to that statement. Throughout the pandemic and throughout my 4 years at Amelon, we've always been 100% compliant with regards to rules, regulations, procedures, dotting I's and crossing T's. Dotting I's and crossing T's. I'm an expert at this point. I thank you for that, because even though I jest just a little bit, your flair for professionalism, quite frankly, for advocating for those who sometimes as adults, given the parents that we represent, and certainly as students who are sometimes voiceless and haven't quite acquired their own voice in terms of their self-advocation, you've been that voice, not just for me, but at the district level. There's a supervisor to my right, Mr. Gallagher, who I'm sure is celebrating your retirement as well in his former capacity as the Director for Special Education and Exceptionalities. And there's a new gentleman, Josh Neighbors, who currently serves, and I know shares the same affinity that Jim and Jay share when it comes to the Honorable Kathy Saunders. Very few folks possess the ability, when they are talking to the building leader, to use the candor with the respectfulness and the sincerity when it comes to making sure that we meet the needs of every child every day. At Amelon, I really want you to resonate as you sit in that chair and maybe rock it just a little bit, because I think it's a rocking chair. The pandemic, in your last year as a professional educator, it challenged us in many unique ways. But I can tell you this, not only in our realm of special education, but in our realm of general education, as you made sure that everyone was held accountable, including myself. We did that, and we've done it well, and because of, again, your talents, I stand here today as proudly as I could ever say it. I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to work with you, because you've left some things with me that, even though this is year 29 and number 16 sitting in the principal's chair, I acknowledge you taught me some things that I did not know, and I'm forever grateful. So we congratulate you, we honor you, and we wish you well in your retirement. Yes, sir.
Before I move on to our next presenter, I want to take a moment to reflect and recognize Ms. Regina Phillips, who's not able to be here tonight. Ms. Phillips this past year served in Amherst County High School and Amherst Middle School, but was most recently principal at Manellison Middle School. So, Ms. Phillips. All right. And from Central Elementary School, if I could call forward Mr. Derek Adam.
Good evening. I want to, of course, once again, congratulate all those that are retiring today. I know that this has been a big moment in your guys' lives, and I know we look forward to having you come back as a substitute starting January 1st. Okay, so make sure you guys come back to us. So I was dared, actually, from Miss Crouch about 5 seconds ago to sing You Are My Sunshine. So I'm going to try to do a couple lyrics or verses, just because for my three people that are retiring, they are like sunshine to Central Elementary School. So here you go. Dr. McGinnis, you can sing with me too if you want. So, all right, ready? You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when the skies are gray. Da 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 da. That's all I remember, guys. Sorry. Away. There we go. Chorus is not my forte, so sorry about that. Can I please have Sylvia Ann Martin to please join us up at the rocking chair? So Sylvia Ann, it's amazing to think that we're here together today. I think it's important to note that she has worked 10 years in Amherst County Public Schools, and then 21 years in service in public education, and she's been at Central since 2014. She's been in nearly every grade level from pre-K through 5th grade. Prior to Central, she has worked at Amelon and Manassas Middle School, but we know her favorite was Central Elementary School, so sorry guys. When you talk to the staff about Sylvia Ann and what she brings and the characteristics of her, a commonality that I found and I've seen personally too is loving and patience. And in my opinion, that's probably two of some of the best qualities that an educator can have. She's an individual that truly cares about the whole child and not just the child learning. She's an advocate for our students. She is willing to pitch in whenever it is needed. I can't tell you how many times she's come to me at the end of the day, Mr. Adam, where you need help, if we're short this or short that, I'll go do this, do car duty, anything. She's one of those people that would jump in wherever there is a need. She is also the kind of person that will always put children first. When you think of every child every day, that is Sylvia Ann Martin. She's also the kind of person that, obviously we are colleagues, but she's always been more than a colleague to myself. She treats you like family. For me personally, she has constantly checked in on me, prayed for me, for my family during challenging times, and just generally cared for me more than just a supervisor. And I can't express how much that means to me. That's what I'm always going to remember. I still look forward to those random phone calls where we just talk about life and seeing how the kids are doing. And I still want those phone calls, so make sure you give me a call every once in a while so we can have those conversations. Miss Martin, I know that you are looking forward to the next chapter of your life, and I wish you the best of luck, and just know that I and Central Elementary School are going to really, really miss you. So thank you for what you've done for us. Can I please have Sue Ellen Petrel come on down? I'm sorry, Sue Ellen, I went out of order. Cynthia and Mike, so please come on down. Got to keep it interesting, right? So that's kind of, Ms. Maxwell just said, I guess I was skipping her, but she's going to get payback at the very end of this because some of her comments that she has made with me in the past, but that is okay. So Ms. Maxwell, so she began her teaching career in 1979 as a speech pathologist, which, if we do my math right, that has her finishing up her 42nd year, which is amazing. And she chose Amherst County Public Schools in 1979 and has stuck with us since then. So that is just Remarkable. And in fact, when she met with me and told me the sad news of her retiring, I'm pretty sure I called up Mr. Josh Neighbors immediately saying, we have a problem. Ms. Mikesell is retiring. We know how hard it is to find a speech pathologist in German, but to find one to the same caliber as Ms. Mikesell is pretty much nearly impossible. So her first year, here's some interesting facts about her. First year, there are only 2 speech pathologists in the county, and she served 5 schools: Central, Elon, Monroe Elementary, Amherst Middle School, and the high school. She approximately had 70 to 75 students on her caseload, and thankfully her home base is now, or was, Central Elementary School. Shortly after starting, she met her husband, Randy, who also became a speech pathologist for the county. They have 2 amazing children together, Adam, great name Adam, by the way, and Kara. Now she has 5 grandchildren. She's got her hands full. Cynthia served as IST, formerly known as Child Study, for about 30 years. She still serves on that committee. She has logged about 30 years of bus duty, from calling buses on the intercom, to holding up bus numbers, to currently greeting parents and students in the car rider line, mask and all. And always asking the question, have you guys had your COVID check today? I know she's not going to miss that. She did at one point have lunch duty for 10 years ago. I guess the administration thought that she had time on her hands while serving 70 students. We don't do that anymore, do you, Ms. Mikesell? Back in the day, her office consisted of a corner in the nurse's office with a shower curtain as a partition. So we've upgraded to a real office with 4 walls, a door, and even a window. It's a small window, but you get some sunlight in there. She also shared a room with Julie Albert for a few years, as well as OT and PT. This is very interesting. She was once required to go on home visits with every IEP meeting with Principal Grady Davis back then, which is very, very interesting. We don't do that now for her as well. While working in Amherst County Public Schools, she has served under numerous special education directors, Debbie Bowman, Judy Nix, Jim Gallagher, and Josh Neighbors. And the principals of Central Elementary School include Grady Davis, Sarah Lou DiCarlo, Stephanie Prickety, Kathy Pierce, Mac Dewis, Betsy Brown, Wanda Smith, and yours truly, Derek Adam. I think we know who her favorite is, but we'll keep that to ourselves. And it's also noted that in this point of her career that she is old enough to be the principal's mother, so which I'm okay with that. Ms. Mikesell's awesome. So with all of that said, Cynthia, I know that you are going to be missed at Central Elementary School. I'm going to miss you. Every person in the school is going to miss you. It's been a pleasure working with you and learning from you. I'm going to miss all of our IEP meetings. I'm going to miss us trying to chase down parents for signing IEP meetings notices and all that good stuff, whether in car ride line. Did you see this parent today? No, I did. We'll get them next time. And I don't think you're going to miss all the paperwork, though. I don't think so, yeah. So please enjoy the next chapter of life, and make sure you come on back and visit us every once in a while. So thank you for what you've done for us. All right, Sue Ellen Petchel, come on down. Now's your time to shine. I can sing to you again if you want me to. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Maybe we should. Next year? Next year, okay. We can cancel the ceremony then. She's going to come back to us. Sue Ellen. She's been in Amherst County Public Schools for 16 years as a reading specialist. 17 years, as a reading specialist. What's interesting is that this is her second career, even though teaching, especially being a reading specialist, just comes to her naturally. She used to work in a bank. So math, she actually is a lover of math, which is interesting because most reading specialists don't necessarily like math as much as they like reading. Mr. Gallagher, maybe we can create some sort of position like reading and math specialist and continue having Sue Ellen join us maybe. But anywho, so some interesting facts about Sue Ellen that I've learned as well is that both her children attended Central Elementary School. Her husband and big brother went to Central Elementary School as well. So when you think of somebody who's really vested into this area, look no other further than Ms. Petchel. She did start as part of the Book Buddies program, and of course, then moved into becoming a reading specialist. She has a beautiful Great Pyrenees dog named Atticus, what a strong name that is, which is apparently afraid of his shadow, which I think that's just super cute. They enjoy taking long walks together, and you just have to hope he doesn't see his shadow, because I'm assuming he probably freaks out by that. So I'm sure you're going to get to take some more long walks with Atticus. She has a daughter who literally just recently got married a couple of weeks ago, which is pretty exciting, so congratulations for that. And I think it's fair to say that maybe you've recovered from wedding planning from that, because I know how exhausting wedding planning and all that can be. She also has a son who is an engineer. Her husband teaches at Randolph College, and they own a huge farm with cows and crops. And one day I got to still visit you guys on your farm and bring my kids to see all that. I've recently tried my green thumb. I've actually taken some advice from Ms. Petchel and her husband as far as how to grow plants. I'm from New York, and we really didn't have much land or anything at all, so hopefully my plants are still living in a few months, and if not, I know where to go to figure out what did I do wrong. She is known by some of her colleagues as Sue B, and she is a lover of puzzles, and I'd like to think as well that you'll have some more time to complete some puzzles. On a more personal note, you have taught me so much about reading to help me grow as a principal, as an educator, and I cannot thank you enough for that. I'm going to miss seeing you in the hallway pushing that big rolly cart around. You're probably not going to miss pushing that cart around and all the noise that comes with it and trying to take your pencils with you and pens and all that. But I look forward to seeing you enjoying the next chapter of your life. I'm pretty sure you got some traveling to do possibly. And so anyway, I'm kind of jealous. You can always take me with you. Mr. Gallagher and Dr. Arnold might not be happy about that, but we can work something out. So on behalf of Central Elementary School, thank you for what you've done for us and for our students. I'm going to really, really miss you.
I'd like to recognize a few folks who weren't able to make it tonight from Elin Elementary School. We have Jordan Joseph, who is retiring from Elin Elementary School, not able to attend. And we have Miss Angie Luther, also not able to attend and retiring from Elin Elementary School. And now I would like to bring down from Madison Heights Elementary School, I apologize, Dr. Marvin McGinnis.
Madam Chair, Madam Vice Chair, distinguished member of the school board, senior staff, and of course, all our guests. We want to thank you all for coming tonight. Also want to give thanks to my colleague, the proud principal of Amalan for what he said, but I won't take much of your time because Ms. D has changed my strategy. Normally, I don't speak from notes. I can go, and I guess that was pretty much why they put me at the end. But I had to gather myself for Mrs. D because she is a very special person. So I want to start by saying this little thing with the topic, Toast to Memories. Okay. Today is bittersweet. Bitter in that I know how much the students and faculty will miss your dedication to every child, every day. The I can do it growth mindset that you ensure every child develop. The blended instructional approach, even before this pandemic, you were doing it. To teaching and learning, coupled with the effective modeling strategy of I do, you do, we do, you do. And of course, the joyful dress-up historical performances presented by your students, need I say, in costumes that you handmade. Put my little quilting to shame. Yes, I quilt, but Miss D put me to shame with her costumes. The smiles on their faces as they presented the faculty and student body with their performance was priceless, to say the least. You counted learning and fun. You brought them together, without a doubt, paving the way to improve student performance and real-world outcomes. So allow me to reminisce, if you will, to say what an asset you have been to me as a principal, Madison Heights Elementary, Amherst County Public Schools, and to the Madison Heights community as a whole. When I came to Madison Heights, school improvement was no stranger. You arrived as a special education teacher. It was in this area that we needed grave improvements. I observed your small group instruction, your desire to understand how your students approach to attacking math problems, especially word problems, and how you adapted your thinking from listening and watching them to build a collective student-teacher approach to strengthen their critical thinking skill and logical approach. That's what you did. That's what I saw. In reading, you became part of the text. While dressing up as a main character, bringing the words on the page to life, but never forgetting to emphasize the purpose or skill for students to take away. Happily to say, it was this first year where we saw the SPED subgroup outperform all other subgroups at Madison Heights, and they continue to grow and maintain year after year. Then we moved you from there to a first grade teacher, where each year the students continue to grow, to excel, to understanding. They became stronger as individuals. They strengthened their social bonds, and of course, their academic bonds. For 2 years, your students continued to grow. It was through the second grade that we noticed that every child in second grade who we saw performing at a second or third grade level, of course, had Mrs. D as a first grade. So when the pandemic hit, I came to you and asked you, Mrs. D, would you mind moving to second grade? She said, let me think about it. But then you gave in because you said, I know these darlings, I'll take them. And with all the negative that the pandemic may have conjured, you refused to let it affect you or your students. With all that you personally had to endure, and we know what you had to endure, you refused to let the shining light of guidance go dull. With all of what many may say were barricades, You saw them as opportunity to change the practice. When things became silent, you entered with a roar. And need I say, hear my thunder. Under the many circumstances, when I asked if you wanted to switch to ARA, understanding your circumstance, I will never forget the look that you gave me and what you said to me. No. I have to be here for my babies. I shouldn't even ask the question because I knew the answer beforehand. Remote learning is no substitute for that physical and personal relationship built between teacher and students. And you said, I have to be there. I have to be there beside them, making sure that they're learning. So, Mrs. D, I know they got a timer on me, but I'm going to keep on going. I will end this, Mrs. D, by saying you are and will always be an asset to the faculty and students, to Madison Heights Elementary, to Amherst County Public School, to the community, and to the educational profession as a whole. We wish you the best in your retirement. May God bless your every future endeavor with strength and prosperity. And as Rita Bishop once says, and I will say this, students don't learn from teachers that they hate. So that goes to show you that you've been doing the learning, so they must love you. And I will stop and share this one thing. We have this student this year who parent called me, and when a parent called me and say, can you come help me get my child out of the car? And I go, what's the problem? And the parent say, he knows Mrs. D's not going to be there, so he doesn't want to come to school. That's true love. That's true teaching. And I will say, Ms. D, remember, when all others are quiet, you continue to roar. You continue to let the light shine. As a token of appreciation, I won't take the show, but I have a little something for you. We have a little something for you. And Mr. Hutchinson is presenting for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Honorable and wonderful Ms. Danishevsky. And we also would like to recognize one of the teachers who couldn't be here, Mrs. Margaret Cummins, who was a kindergarten teacher for 2 years, who retired last year. So we thank Mrs. Cummins for her time and her service. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I will now call forward Mr. William Wells, Dr. Wells.
All right, good evening. As I was looking over the list of people being honored tonight, I was reflecting back on my 28 years here in Amherst County and realized that I have worked as a teacher or assistant principal or a principal with the majority of you. And I just want to say I appreciate all you've done for us in the county, and I really wish you the best as you move on to the next phase of your life. I am here to honor Mr. Wayne Cox. So Wayne, would you please come forward? How's that feel? Pretty good? All right. So Wayne has served Amherst County Schools for the past 12 years as the supervisor of maintenance and operations. He also, 2 of those years, he did maintenance and operations plus transportation. Now, how he did that, I have no idea, because talking with Rhonda and talking with him, that's a pretty big endeavor to try to tackle both of those. And I just appreciate all you've done with those endeavors there. During his time with us, he has served under 3 superintendents and oversaw multiple renovation projects Some of the projects include roof replacements, HVAC replacements, lighting upgrades, door replacements, construction of safety vestibules, security vestibules at the schools, and restroom renovations. Overall, these projects totaled over $28 million. So that's a big endeavor there. So thank you, Wayne, for that. You know, if you don't have safe schools, if you don't have dry schools, if you don't have air conditioning or heat, it's really hard for teachers to do their job and for students to learn. So even though the operations side, people think it's the vital part, because if we're not safe and we're not warm, we're not dry, or we're not cool this time of year, it's kind of hard for us to focus and get things done. So Wayne, that's a huge part of what we do, and I greatly appreciate what you've done. Under the operations side of this, also as being in charge of operations and maintenance, you're on call 24/7. So when the power goes out at 2 o'clock in the morning at Masson Heights Elementary School, and Marvin's still sleeping, and we're in the parking lot at 4 o'clock trying to figure out if we're going to be able to have school or not, calling AEP, and they say, well, we might have it back on. You know, that's a tough decision to make, but he's out there dealing with those situations, or it starts snowing at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're trying to figure out if we can have school or not the next day. Those are all big parts of this position. When the water pipe breaks at 8 o'clock in the evening here and it floods the whole gym, and we're trying to figure out if we can have, get the water cleaned up, we can have school here at the high school the next day. Or the boiler and the old boilers, and that one went out down the vocational wing and it smoked the whole vocational hallway out, and we were trying to figure out how to get all the smoke out of the building so we could have school. All those things go into it, and requires him to be here all those times. So Wayne, I want to appreciate what you've done for us in that capacity. But I've also had the pleasure of knowing Wayne outside of school, and every year, and Brittany, you can go ahead and put the picture up. Every year we make a voyage to Oregon and North Carolina for an offshore fishing trip. We go try to catch tuna and dolphin, not flipper dolphin, the mahi-mahi dolphin. But we've had some memorable trips. When there, we've caught citation tuna, we've caught wahoo, we've caught sailfish, a citation hammerhead shark, addition to multiple tuna and dolphin. One of the most memorable trips, though, was in which we didn't even make it out the harbor. We were going out, and the boat had mechanical problems, and we came, and the captain said, we got to come back in. On that trip, I didn't catch any citation fish, but I caught a citation Wayne. So as the boat came back in, we pulled back into the dock, and we're trying to get off the boat. Our trip's canceled for the day. We're trying to figure all that out. And Wayne was trying to step off the boat into the dock, and there was about that much room between the dock and the boat. And he managed to fit head first in that area as he plunged off the boat into the water. So Tim Hoden was there with me. We were there together, and we reached in and tried to get Wayne's head above water and got him up. And we tried to pull him up off the dock, and it's about 3 feet of distance from the water level to the dock. We get him up out the water, kept his head above water and all that, and get him out. And we're sitting there later, and the captain goes, the water's only less than 5 foot deep. All you do is stand up. But he didn't know that at the time. He was there just floundering around trying to keep out the water. But we got him out the water, and we went back a few weeks later and caught some more fish with his swimmies, and that's why the picture of the swimmies is there. So at the next trip out, we gave him some flotation devices, so when he fell off the boat, he wouldn't drown on us. So that's why the swimmies are up there. So Wayne, again, I appreciate all you've done for ACPS these past 12 years. I want to say that I appreciate your friendship that's developed between you and I over these past few years. I'm looking forward to all the fishing trips to come in the future. I wish you the best as you move into retirement, and I hope you and Linda are able to sail off into the sunset and have an enjoyable retirement together. Again, we thank you for all you've done for Amherst County Public Schools, the students, faculty, staff, as well as the Amherst County community, and we greatly be missed. So appreciate all you've done for us, Wayne. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to take a moment to recognize another individual who is not able to be present this evening, Ms. Cindy Kopp, who is most recently principal at Temperance Elementary School and has served as principal with Amherst prior to that for years. And we thank Ms. Cindy Kopp for her service to Amherst County Public Schools. All right, now would like to call Ms. Rhonda Campbell to present her retirees.
Good evening. I thought we were going to have two of our ladies here tonight, but I only see one. But I want to share a little bit with you about the one that is not here tonight. When they asked me to speak tonight in reference to our department's retirees, I'd have to say that the first thing that came to mind was how in the world am I going to put all of that into something brief? These ladies had dedicated their lives to a positive influence and showing compassion for our students, and along with getting them to and from school in a safely manner. The young lady that is not here with us tonight, Miss Sandra Santini, actually had been with the transportation department for 45 years before retiring. She had served in numerous capacities in the special ed bus, where we found her perfect fit. She was patient and caring as she showed her students and genuine. She was not just her job, it was her heart. She retired from us last year, and I wish she was here for us to be able to honor her tonight. Secondly, I have Miss Hilda Stoker that is here with us tonight. If you'll come up, Miss Hilda. I have to say before I start, I am very envious of Miss Hilda. She was born and raised in Key West, and she is heading back to Florida. Miss Hilda has been with the transportation department for approximately 8 years. She had 13 years in the division of serving as a transportation department. Serving on several buses before accepting a Temperance area run, I cannot begin to tell you how much Miss Hilda means to me in our department. Over the past 3 years, I have depended on her a great deal. She has been gracious, more than I can mention, to pull off her route and cover a challenging one or double up her runs. Never questioning, never complaining. She'd just say, print me the route. No matter where it's at, I'll be there. I've joked with her by saying if I could only clone her, every county would be fighting for several of her. Miss Hilda, you and I've talked about this before. I just wanted to tell you how much I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss your smile, your kindness, and your generosity. I'm envious of your trip. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Congratulations, and thank you for all that you have done for us, for our schools and our students, but mostly for me. Thank you, and enjoy your retirement.
I just want to take a moment to thank all of our dedicated retirees and 25-year service folks this evening. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you have given to the children, to the families, to your colleagues, and to the community in Amherst County Public Schools over the years. I'd like to have one more round of applause for everybody. Thank you. And in a typical year, we could gather for refreshments. This is not a typical year. So for every retiree this evening and for every individual who has had 25 years of service, we do have a cake for you on the way out so that you may take that home and celebrate with your family. But we do appreciate you so very much and wish that we could celebrate together. But you'll be in our thoughts as you do that. And now I will turn things over for closing comments to our school board chair, Ms. Priscilla Ligon.
Just want to say what a wonderful evening this has been, and congratulations, and all of these good things that have been said. You know, some of us, some people say, you know, I don't want to go to work, and I don't like my job, and my boss don't like me, but I heard some mighty good stuff here tonight. So somebody must love somebody, and that's what it's all about. That's what I'm all about anyway. So I'm looking forward to having one of these chairs one day, but for right now, I want all the retirees to know that on behalf of the school board, if you would stand as I make this last comment to school board members, on behalf of the school board of Amherst County, on behalf of the superintendent and all of those involved, congratulations on a job well done. And I'll just quote something that's my quote. Go out, live your life, take on another journey, have some good coffee in the morning while you watch Good Morning America, take a nap after lunch, come back and have some more refreshments, and take another nap. That's retirement. That's retirement. But think of us, okay? When you see the buses rolling and the little people, you can always say, I remember that I used to be right there. So congratulations and God bless you. At this time, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn from one of the board members. I'll have a second. All in favor? God bless you. Thank you so much.